Hello, welcome to the Virtual Film Company studio on Spatial.io. We're here every 2 weeks to talk about different subjects relating to technology in the most part, although we do talk about social events and how society has been impacted by technology. And in fact, we're probably going to be talking about a little bit of that today, since today we're going to be talking about new developments in AI. And again, this is the Virtual Film Company. We are streaming this to YouTube. If you see this, please remember to follow, like, check us out on Facebook, and do the same thing. Show us a little bit of social media appreciation. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Chris, who's going to introduce today's topic. You, Chris.
Right, thanks. Yeah, John, absolutely right. So today we have a bunch of topics, as it's written in our description here. We will talk about what's new in AI. That's why we have this little image here. This is basically a topic that will come up every 4 weeks or whatever anyways, because so much is happening here. So we have a little examples for you, what's happening with open source AI tools that you can use at home. We will also today talk about a little bit how are AI influencers created and how are they used. And we will also talk then about the SAG-AFTRA strike and what that has to do with AI. And so it's a bunch of interesting topics. And I think we should just start with the first one. So I will have to change the little image here. And our first topic today is a new model from Stability AI. So Stability AI is offering models for generative AI, so you can generate images with that. And the most and best known of their models is called SDXL, and that is a shortage for Stable Diffusion XL. And now what they did is something really interesting. They generated a new model that is able to make your image in a very, very short amount of time. So when you use those generative models like Stable Diffusion, it always takes basically, well, it depends on how fast your computer is, because again, we're talking about an open source model that is running on your computer. And if you have a very fast computer with a very good graphics board from NVIDIA, for example, it will generate the image faster. But at least you probably would have to wait about, well, 10 to 20 seconds for an image generation. But now imagine you want to generate a lot of images, because then after generating 20 images or 30 images, you want to choose one of those and elaborate more on this one. Imagine it would have taken quite a while to do that. So now we have this new model called SDXL Turbo, and this one can generate images within a half of a second. So it's incredibly fast. So imagine now you are a set designer, or you are someone who wants to create a new type of vision of science fiction movie or whatever kind of stuff. You can go use this this SDXL Turbo model, and let it create hundreds of different images, and then choose the one that is the best that you think fits your ideas and elaborate on this image. So this is a complete new type of working with generative art. It wasn't possible before because it took a lot of time. So John, I mean, you generated thousands and thousands of images. What do you think? What do you do with it?
Before John comments, I think that this is for somebody who has no patience.
No what?
No
No.
patience. No patience. Right? They want things right away.
Yeah,
Somehow,
but
probably.
there's pluses and minuses to all of this. So, yes, Chris, you're right about the fact that, image generation has taken a while, but Midjourney has also, got turbo mode, which pretty much
Oh,
does the
okay.
same thing. And, stable diffusion. I mean, one of the first things that I did, gosh, what, a year ago, in the old days, right?
The
When
old
it
days, yeah.
first came out, or 2 years ago now, I forget, but
Yeah.
was to, so, Midjourney at that time was limited to these quad sets, as I call them, so 4 images at a time,
Right,
or
right.
4 thumbnails at a time to be more accurate, and one had to wait, because most of the time when I
Right.
use Midjourney, I use relax mode, because there's nothing to me that has to be, generated there and then, right? Like, but maybe
Okay.
some people do have that need. But, I played with Stable Diffusion, and one of the attractions when I first played with it was the ability to create these giant, like, runs where, you could create 1,000 variations at a time. And,
Okay.
it took, hours and hours and hours to do it. But, the thing that I'm left with all of this, and it's like on Midjourney, I've done what, 111 or 112,000 images, and
Okay.
it's just too many. It's like, you know, sure, you can generate 1,000 images, but, going through 1,000 images, I mean, the technology has to get better where, you can say, okay, generate 1,000 images, and then you as AI look at these images and select the best 10 for me. Like,
Right.
continue to refine it. But to expect a human being, and I'm sorry, I'm fallible in that regard, to be able to take massive amounts of information, like 1,000 images, and then start sifting through them is so time consuming. And so, yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
great being able to create all of these images, but one
It
can
seems like
only handle a few at a time.
it takes
Or at least
longer to
I
go
can.
through.
Yes, yes, yes.
Seems
Yes,
like it
it takes
takes longer to go through and edit them than it does to create them. With Dolly,
Right. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. It just creates one image at a time, so it's very laser pointed, giving it the specific things that you want to create.
No. DALL-E for me, okay, it depends. Okay, I'm using DALL-E with the Bing image creator, and there it generates 4 for me. So
Okay.
Yeah,
you
on Bing
you
it
use
generates 4. On Bing it generates 4. But you bring up an interesting question here, Eric, and I haven't tried this yet. Is to tell we're, I guess, talking about using Dolly through GPT,
yeah.
and the thing about that that's interesting, that I think sets it apart right now from all of these other interfaces, whatever, Stable Diffusion, whatever, is that you can tell GPT to create an image. Then you can tell GPT to create a variation of that image, or say, okay, no, I don't like that color, or change the color. And it doesn't
Exactly.
get it right perfectly, or even close to perfectly, but it shows the potential of being able to create the stuff using natural language. And I mean, today there was a company that got some funding that they're working on some methodology to create things without a text, without a keyboard. Somehow, and it
Okay.
wasn't even clear from reading the article exactly what the somehow was, at least to me. It was like, yeah, we got some money that's going to enable artists to create without having to type in text prompts on the keyboard. And I'd love to know the rest of the story. If anyone knows about this technology that was, announced today or yesterday, that
Is it
this
just
company is working on.
Is it just you think it in your mind? Actually, I do want to I did pull up DALL-E at the GPT chat, and I asked for 4 images, and
Okay.
it gave me 4 variations.
Oh,
the image.
nice.
So
You just have
it'll
to be
only give
friendly
you
and
one.
ask.
Yes, exactly. You got to be specific with it, but yes, it did generate it like a Mid-Journey image.
And this is the wonderful thing about GPT is that, at least in my mind, is learning from it. That, oh yeah, you can do this. Now it's like,
Yeah, but I mean, the really important point here, I guess, Eric, you wrote like, please generate 4 images. Is that correct?
yeah, but I bet you, what you can't do
Correct.
is you can't see if you can select one of those images. So if you can say like expand the image, just say expand image number 1 or expand image in the top right quadrant, something like that. See, because you obviously won't be able to click on the image, or can you? Anyway, while he does that, one of the interesting things here about Stable Diffusion and all of this to me, and you started this off with saying, one needs a lot of horsepower to be able to run these apps, but
Sure.
that's really not necessarily true, right? Because,
Well,
after we go ahead.
it is on one hand, I mean, the point is how much horsepower is it? I'm using a PC that I bought last year for $800 or 800 euros in that case. It's the same.
Uh-huh.
And this is not an expensive PC, I would say, right? And it does it in a quite really well done way, let's say. It's really, really working well. So that is not really expensive, but if you want more speed, let's say, you will have to invest a little bit more money. But sure, it's not that you need a $10,000 PC for that, not anymore. Definitely, that is true. That is 100% true.
Right, and the other thing too that we're seeing is companies that are now hosting Stable Diffusion and other AI programs. In fact, I saw AWS, I believe, I didn't follow up and make sure that this is in fact true, is offering a Stable Diffusion. But
I think so, yeah.
the thing, and this is me speaking from experience here, is if you or anyone here listening to this, does decide to use services, make sure you pay attention to capping charges, to notifications that you're getting close to exceeding stuff. Put a freeze on it if it goes to a certain, because it and remember when they talk about GPU hours, that's not 60 human minutes. It's, really depending on what you're doing and how many processors this is all spread over. So
yeah, you have to, if you use services, if you're renting something in a cloud service, you need to be not maybe an expert, but you need to know exactly what you do there. So I wouldn't recommend that for someone who just does that for fun in between. There are so many other platforms that you can use also in parts for free. Use Bing Image Creator. There's so much stuff out there. This Stable Diffusion is a model that and that's the interesting part, for people that they can run it at home and they can do whatever they want. You are not restricted in any case, and no one will see your images. So if you have something very secret because you're developing a new car or a UFO that no one should see before you come to Earth with it or whatever, right? You can do that with this model and design it or whatever kind of stuff. So it always depends on what do you want to do and how you want to do that. But I think we talked a lot about DALL-E and ChatGPT and those services from OpenAI. So I think it's always important also to show the people the open source alternatives, right? Always have the eye on both worlds, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think open source most often means that you don't have to pay somebody continually every month.
For example.
And, you bring up one of my pet peeves, unfortunately, you remind me of this, is that, Midjourney continues to have, unless you pay them more, this concept of community where anything that you create is part of the community. And as you say, Chris, you may not want to be, it's the only platform out there that does this. For example, Night Cafe, right, which uses Stable Diffusion and a few other things, and it gives you the option of what you want to use. It's very Midjourney-like. They will let you post stuff to the community, but everything you create is not automatically posted, which I understand the thought of communities and democratizing art and all of that, but it's really uncomfortable, and that's one of the reasons that I personally am using Midjourney less and less.
Right. I mean, that is absolutely correct, John, and that's why I say it's so important for yourself when you use these tools to know what is your goal, what do you want to do with that. Is it worth it to pay a lot of money for that? Start with the free ones. I'm the freebie guy. I have to say, I'm using a lot of open source. I'm using a lot of things for free just to test it before I would pay money for that. So, I mean, I think today in the AI world, people can find a lot of different approaches here, and that's a great thing at the moment, I have to say.